Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dobson, and welcome to our weekly I Ching overview for the week commencing the 8th of May 2023. Last week we had a interesting arrival of the last hexagram we have not yet had in the channel's history. We had hexagram 6, conflict, de-escalating the challenge, the disagreement, wherever the conflict was, and we had this hexagram coming to meet, right, 44, the arrival of an interesting dynamic element, some encounter coming in, not set to last, maybe not for our highest and best, and needing to be hyper-focused, critical faculties on what that arrival, what that element, what that danger might be that we are needing to tackle, deal with, and be conscious of, and still staying focused on moving forward despite feeling hampered, injured, or impeded. So, please do share a comment if there's something that came up for you last week that was evidential and tied to this insight around encounters and conflict. So this week, let's get into what the I Ching is asking us to pay attention to. Besides all the other things that we have, and perhaps you have something specific, flow that's your own, that's not tied to the channel this week, that's okay. But what is the commonality? What are we all going through that we could pay attention to that could accelerate our development this week? We have a locked hexagram. We have had 2 months in a row, right? Our monthly episode for May was 63 after completion. We had April's monthly was 53 development. And here we have a weekly that is locked. Hexagram 5, waiting. We had this a couple of weeks ago. We had the energy of waiting. So this is going to be short and sweet because it's back, but it's now locked, So that means there's no changing lines, there's no dynamic flow in this week. It's really focused. It's really asking us to double down on patience and preparing for rain, Waiting, as I mentioned in the previous weekly where we had it, is talking about this idea of there are the clouds, We're sitting looking out across the clouds, and the rain represent the nourishment, the outcome, the finance, the support, the realization of our work and our effort and our love, sitting out there as clouds accumulating and starting to coalesce into rain. We want the rain. We want the rain for our crops. And we have been working and working and working at it. And what we have to do is we have to realize that the rain is coming. We can see it, right? We have to realize it's about being patient, about preparing and working through what it is that we're going to do once the rain comes, So patience is an interesting word in that it has this idea of like we're patiently waiting in the queue. We aren't behaving badly in the queue while we're waiting, in line, or we're waiting at the doctor's rooms. Like we behave, we just sit quietly and we wait our turn and we're patient, This hexagram is not a hexagram of just sitting. I spoke about this in the previous time we had it. It's not about just sitting in the queue or sitting on the riverbank waiting, for something to happen and we're just biding our time, None of us have the time to bide our time, If we can do something to prepare and support the growth that is coming. There are times where we are meditative and we're in our flow and we're receptive. We aren't charging out and forcing out with our male energy, right? This is one of those times, but it's a working holiday, We are waiting. We are waiting for something. Something is coming, We are having to be patient, but we are actively waiting. And I like that idea of putting this idea of active and waiting together. Actively waiting means that we do the work to get ready. So do not think for any moment that this week, in the 8th of May, is going to be a bliss out week. Maybe it is for you, and that'll be great because we all need that from time to time. We are going to be working, We are going to be actively waiting. We're going to be putting in place the things that are needed for the rain. So what I would suggest in working with bringing some focus to this week, seeing as it's a locked hexagram and there's no other stories going on, It's just hexagram 5 waiting. Get out your pen and paper. Get busy with a list of the things that you're waiting on, Personal life, business life, whatever it might be. And work out, what are you missing to support this? So I'm praying for rain, Praying for rain. But when the rain comes, what do I do with it? And very often we get so focused on the thing that we are affirming, or the thing that we don't have, or the thing that's taking so long. Okay. We get so focused on the outcome and we forget that there's a whole lot of steps that we can take responsibility for, that when that thing comes in, we are ready. Okay. So what are you praying for? What is that affirmation, that goal that you've put out there that you're praying for, affirming, right, and working towards? And what are all the things? Write them down on a piece of paper. All the things, the structures, the support mechanisms that you are missing to get you there. And get busy this week with some of those. So we take our energy away from the stress of the waiting for the thing that hasn't arrived. And it might even be a client that's supposed to pay that hasn't paid, and you're waiting. While you are waiting, there's no point staring at your email box, okay, refreshing, or sitting on the phone waiting for someone to send you a message. Get busy. Put that device down, okay. Get that list out that you've made of the preparation that's required, and get busy getting ready, actively waiting, because that's what the week is asking us to pay attention to. So let's see how waiting goes for us. I wish you the best of luck in your active waiting, okay? And looking forward to hearing about all the things that you put in place, and when the rains came in, how that saved you, helped you, supported you, and accelerated you into the next phase of your life. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please like and share if this was meaningful, and of course, subscribe or follow if you are new to the channel podcast, and I will see you on the socials and see you soon for our next weekly overview.